The city of Accra, Ghana, a city known for its traditional markets, monumental buildings, museums, and it is the largest city in Ghana. Here lived Kofi, a hard-working man with big dreams of making it to the United States. He has tried everything: job applications, scholarships, even the lottery, but nothing has worked. He needed to further his education. Most of his friends that travel to study abroad always get the best job when they come back home. He needed a change. He finally decided to apply for a visa to the United States. Kofi sat nervously in the US Embassy waiting area, clutching his document. After a long wait, his name was called and he walked to the window nervously. The consular officer went through his papers and without much emotion says, "I am sorry, Mr. Kofi, but your visa application has been denied." The words hit Kofi like a ton of bricks. He tried to plead, but the decision was final. Dejected, Kofi leaves the embassy. His dreams of a better life in America fell shattered. He decided to look for something else to do since he had been rejected. One day, Kofi met with his old friend Kwame at a local mama put bar, eating fufu and discussing Kofi's recent visa denial. Kofi was visibly upset. Kwame tried to calm him down. Kofi said, "I don't know what else to do, Kwame. I thought this time would be different. I had all my documents in order. Everything was perfect. But they still denied me." Kwame said, shaking his head, "My brother, it is tough. This embassy, they don't always make sense. You can have everything in order, but they will still find a reason to say no." Kofi frustrated. "I just don't understand. All I want is a chance to make something of myself, further my education, come back home for the best job, and support my family. Is that too much to ask?" Kwame leans in, lowering his voice. "You know, there might be another way. It is not exactly conventional, but it could work." Kofi said, "What do you mean? What other way?" "I've tried everything, Kwame. I've tried everything." Then Kwame said, looking at him, "Have you heard of the juju man in the forest? People say he has powers, real powers. If you go to him, he might be able to help you." Kofi frowned. "Juju man? You mean those witch doctors?" Kwame, you know I don't believe in that kind of thing. How can a juju man help me get a visa?" Kwame, looking serious, said to him, "I know it sounds crazy, but I've heard stories, Kofi. People who were in possible situations just like you, they went to see him, and somehow things worked out for them. What do you have to lose? You really think this juju man can help me? I mean, I've never done anything like this before." Kwame nodded. "Look, I'm not saying you have to believe in it. Just think of it as one more option. If it doesn't work, well, you are no worse off than you are now. But if it does, who knows? Sometimes we have to take strange roads to reach our destination. If you want to go, I can take you there. Just keep an open mind." Kofi, after a long pause, "All right, Kwame, let's go see this juju man. But if this doesn't work, you owe me a bottle of the finest palm wine." Kwame laughed. "Deal, my brother. Let's hope you won't need that bottle." The next morning, Kofi took a bus to the village of Okurase, a village in the outskirts of Accra. He hesitantly approaches the juju man's hut, hidden deep within the forest. The atmosphere was ghostly, with strange symbols and charms hanging from the trees. The juju man, an old man with deep-set eyes and a voice that rumbles like thunder, listens to Kofi's story. The juju man grins, revealing his crooked teeth. "So you want to go to America, eh?" he says. Kofi nodded. The juju man sat down and said to Kofi, "I only have 2 charms left. If you reject the first one, you must accept the second one. If not, you will go blind. In Kofi's mind, many people have used this process. It can't be that terrible. So he agreed. The juju man said, you see, the first one, you will run around the city for 3 days without stopping. If you stop, you have to start all over again. Kofi thought to himself, it meant he would not eat, drink, nor sleep for 3 days, and he must not stop running. He said to the juju man, I can't do that. Then the juju man said, okay, this is the last and only option. He pulled out some needles and said to him, look at these pins. If you swallow them, the moment you enter the airport, you will find yourself in America automatically. You don't need a passport nor visa. As he was about to reject the juju man's offer, a lady walked in with her friend. They both desired to travel to Canada. The juju man offered the same suggestion. Right there in front of Kofi, they both swallowed and left. Kofi, seeing this, thought to himself, what a woman can do, a man can do better. If these ladies could swallow them, then he can also do it. After some hesitation, he agreed. The juju man gave him the pouch and warns, swallow them at midnight, and whatever happens, do not scream. That night, Kofi sat in his room, staring at the things in his hands. He takes a deep breath and with trembling hand, swallows them one by one. The pain was immediate and excruciating, but Kofi remembered the juju man's warning not to scream. The following day, he got up, excited. He packed his bag, ready to set out to the airport. He said to himself, I don't need a passport. And off he went. When he got to the airport, he was asked for his traveling documents. He closed his eyes, hoping to find himself in America. He opened his eyes to the angry look of the airport officials. They grabbed him and took him to their office. He was locked up for unruly behavior. Then the pain in his stomach began. He fainted and was rushed to the hospital. Kofi woke up the next morning in an unfamiliar room. The walls were white, the bed was hard, and a beeping sound nearby. As he opened his eyes fully, he realized he was in a hospital in Accra and not in America. Kwame was standing beside him. He said, you were found unconscious and they brought you here. Do you remember what happened? Kofi tried to recall the event, but everything was a blur. He touches his stomach, expecting to feel pain, but there was nothing. The nurse explained that they found nothing wrong with him, except some strange foreign objects in his stomach that had miraculously disappeared. Kwame said, when I heard of what happened, I spoke with my friend's pastor, who told me that the process you took was a spiritual and demonic one, and the only way the pins can come out of you is by prayer. The hospital carried out various tests. Nothing was found. My friend, we prayed for you, and I thank God that the pins had disappeared through the power of prayer. Traveling abroad is not for everyone. Make use of what you have to survive in your mother's land. Kofi, after he felt better, he told his dream to Kwame. He said he found himself in New York, just as the juju man promised. He had no money, no job, no place to stay. Life was difficult. He couldn't go to school. He found himself begging on the streets of New York. Kwame said, do you want to try the embassy again? Kofi screamed, no! I'm good here, I'm good. Lesson learned. Foolishness is expensive. Be wise in all your decision making.